Hey everybody, this is Ryan West with Digi Authority, and welcome to our niche site ride along. This is pretty exciting for us, but we decided that we were creating a new niche site anyway, and I thought that creating a sort of educational course around how it works and for you to see every single action that we take in order to take a site from zero to getting traffic and profiting, I thought it'd be really interesting to create. So here is the introduction video. Starting out with who I am. That's a great question. Like I said, I'm Ryan West. I am currently a co-owner of Summit Rankings, and that is a digital marketing agency. We work with a wide range of different clients. So we work with these large national brands, brands that you'd find in big in grocery stores, things like that. We work with informational sites. Some of the sites that we work with are getting over 20 million organic hits per month. So we have a big scale there. We work with e-commerce sites that are making millions of dollars in revenue. So a lot of product sales. And then we even work with local clients, people like plumbers and dentists and things like that as well too. So we have a wide range of expertise and clientele that we work with, and that's sort of the overview of Summit Rankings. I used to be the head of customer success at SEMrush. So if SEMrush is a platform that you use, you'll see me use SEMrush a lot during this. But if you've used it in the past, you might have worked with me or my team before when I was there. Basically, the whole point of customer success there was client education, getting people on board and integrating SEMrush into their current workflows that they were using there. So we worked with companies like Walmart, like eBay, Uber Eats, things like that when they were still pretty early and starting out, and aligning their strategies with SEMrush. So you're going to see a lot of SEMrush during this, but for good reason. I'll always explain the reasons why I'm using particular tools that I do. And now we are also, Digi Authority is our marketing education platform. We have always been very heavy on education and client education. A lot of the clients that we work with, especially if they already have content teams or marketing teams, we go in to help train and educate good white hat practices for digital marketing, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And that is something that we've always really cared about. As you'll see, why am I making this series? Well, it's the same reason that we started Summit Rankings. So my business partner, Dave, who also is the co-owner of Summit Rankings, we both used to work at SEMrush, and something that we saw a lot were agencies and freelancers who were charging outrageous amounts of money without being able to provide any results for clients. There are people who are straight up frauds in the industry, just trying to kind of leak out as much money as they can. But then there are people who I wouldn't call frauds, but people who maybe don't know exactly what they're doing. They might have learned from an online course that didn't give them enough information to really do a good job for somebody. Or you can tell in digital marketing is one of those industries that attracts quote unquote like internet entrepreneurs. They are people who get into this industry in order to make a quick buck, as opposed to getting into this industry because it is a field that interests them. And since this was something that we were good at and that we were interested in, we really wanted to make something, an agency that charged fair prices and delivered results that made sense for people. Now, why are we making this series specifically? You'll find that with any sort of ride along or maybe a guru who's giving out information, if they do this sort of thing, you're getting like secret access to what they're doing. They're a lot of the times unwilling to give you the URL that their site's on. They won't let you actually read any of the content that they're putting on the site. They don't explain why they're making certain content. There's a lot they don't explain. It's usually high level overviews. So if you're talking about like getting into affiliate marketing, or if you look at affiliate marketing on Udemy, for instance, you're going to find courses that are 45 minutes long, an hour long, that are just high level overviews of what affiliate marketing is, what are niche sites, how do they make money, but they don't explain actually how you can make money doing it. So really tired of seeing paid courses where all you're going to get is like inside info of, oh, this is how you make money, here's why it works, but they're not getting into the nitty gritty of what to do to make it work. So we wanted to create a series that actually showed you a website from zero just an idea in our heads and what it takes to turn that into a profiting website. And then finally, for personal growth reasons. Obviously, there is a pandemic going on right now. I have been cooped up. I've not been able to go speak at any conventions. We haven't been able to go to any conventions. And honestly, the way that I view marketing, there's no major secrets to the stuff that we do. Anybody could learn to do what we do. We've had multiple profiting niche websites now. But the big thing is that we're really good at what we do. So by showing you step by step everything we do and put into a website to make it profit and increase the traffic for it, I don't find that sort of thing to be a secret. I want to be able to dilute this information into a form that is digestible, not just cooped up in my head. And I think it'll help improve myself, my ability to speak, my ability to teach people what I do. And honestly, with the COVID factor going on right now, I just need something else to do that I think would be fun and help me improve in my industry. So what is this series going to cover? Like I said, it's a niche site ride-along. We're going to be taking a site from conception to profit. And I mean actual conception. We don't have a niche in mind. We don't have a URL or a domain name in mind. We just know that we want to make another site. And we were going to make one kind of just obvious for everybody. We're going to make one that is kind of clear to understand, that we pick one that is going to be universal so that people understand why we're doing what we're doing very, very easily. So we're not going to pick some crazy niche that's like super techie. We're not going to be talking about, Bitcoin and blockchain and things like that. It's going to be something digestible for you. But these are the things that we're going to cover. Picking and validating a niche, really the most important step, right? What niche are you going to be working in? Building SEO silos. We have keyword research and content planning. Maybe the other really most important thing when it comes to creating a site. You're going to see what types of content we make and when, and we'll dive into the reasons why we're making content during those particular times of the website. Basic website creation. What are the important things to keep in mind? That'll also go over things like technical SEO and what the benchmarks need to be as far as like site speed and things like that. We have content creation. That's also something you'll almost never see in a course like this. Content creation is like the single most important thing, and every update that Google puts out, content becomes more and more important. So the fact that people are not paying that much attention to content, I mean, obviously they pay attention to content. You've heard content is king a million times and for years, but actually teaching you what that means and how to implement it into your own content seems to be missing out there. Ranking and promoting the content. So once you have content, we're not just going to let it sit. We're going to do things with it. We're going to make content that is marketable. We're going to make content that is going to rank really, really well. And finally, monetization as well, too. We're going to be going over how you can make money with your sites, how that changes over time when you're getting, 100 page views a month to 100,000 page views a month, and what that monetization can look like. So it's going to be a real-time ride-along with our site. Each of these is not a single video. These are very broad topics that are likely going to be multiple videos. So this series will end up being very long. There'll be a lot of content to digest. But if you follow along with what we do, you'll be able to see a site or a site that you build with us go from zero and kind of doing guesswork to figure out how you can make a niche site finally work, to practical steps you can take to almost guarantee that this is going to work for you. So what are niche sites? Well, this is something that we struggled with a lot. We didn't know if we should call this a niche site ride-along or not, because I think when people think niche site, they think of micro niches, and micro niches are super outdated. People used to say that, hey, if you want to make a site make money, you can sign up for Amazon affiliate. Let's say you want to make a site about something that sells for a decent amount of money. One of those things is like tankless water heater is a good one, because tankless water heater, they are really useful products. They are something that is sort of emerging technology. People are interested and want to learn information about them. So someone would make a site like tanklesswaterheaters.com or tanklesswaterheaterreview.com, and they would just have a site filled with content reviewing tankless water heaters. And that's what I would consider a micro niche site. Niche sites still focus around a sole topic or idea, but I think most websites do that these days. So calling it a niche site is sort of like a misnomer. Our last quote unquote niche site was a camping site. We would never make a site that is focused on, let's close that out. We'll never make a site that is focused on a particular product, but we'll focus around a hobby or a topic or an idea. And yeah, I mean, it's a niche site, but I think niche site is what people generally use as someone who wants to make money either through affiliate marketing or usually some sort of advertising content. So niche site is sort of the term that people are using, but really it doesn't matter too much. Here's a big example for a niche site. We've got pingpongruler.com. So a micro niche site might be something like, pingpongtablereviews.com. But this is a niche site. It's about a particular hobby, which is ping pong, and you'll find tips and guides, buying guides, reviews, and things like that on it. I think this is what most people think of when they think niche site, a site that's maybe on a topic or a hobby. And honestly, the micro niches are outdated. There's zero reason to make a site that's like, oh, the best ping pong paddles that exist. There's no reason for it anymore. So why do niche sites exist? That's a wonderful question. Any content-heavy site is going to do super well in rankings. That's just a fact, and that's going to continue happening going forward. Sites that are heavy in content have a ton of relevancy. Google can understand what they're about, and if you have a load of content, your chances of ranking are just so much better than a site that is more sales-focused. If you want to see why niche sites and content-heavy niche sites do well, all you have to do is search best credit cards and look at the sites that rank. So of course I went ahead and did that. But back in the day, if you searched best credit card, you would expect credit card companies to show up. You would expect Visa, Discover, MasterCard. You would expect that sort of thing to pop up. But now when you look at a SERP, we have 4 ads. We've got Discover Card here. But then when you look down here, we've got NerdWallet, Forbes, Wallet Hub, Bankrate, creditcards.com. These are sites that are much more content focused. None of these sites, and maybe they're promoting credit cards through affiliate, but none of these sites are actually a credit card trying to sell you their credit card. You're going to see reviews, tips and tricks, things that are very content based. And that is it. That's why niche sites exist, because it's easy to rank content heavy websites as opposed to like a salesy website. That's why a niche site exists. And big sites have been doing it wrong for a long time. And I say doing it wrong, but most like e-commerce sites want their ranking page to also be the page that people are going to buy that particular item at. But an e-commerce page compared to a long form article, the article is going to have an easier time ranking, which is why niche sites have kind of emerged and why you'll see a lot of really content heavy articles out there nowadays. So how do they monetize? The 3 main ways of monetization of a niche site is affiliate programs like Amazon, and that's really like the main way. It doesn't have to be Amazon, but I think that that's a really common one out there. But niche sites were made for affiliates. They really are. Affiliate programs are the best way to make money through a niche site, typically. Now, when I say niche site, yes, you can make the kind of site that we're going to make. That's going to look a lot like that ping pong site. But you can follow these instructions that I lay out for any site that you want to make. And if you follow the way that we make these sites, it doesn't have to be a site for you to make a bunch of money. If you really are just trying to get your word out there, or you want to just build page views on another site that you have, you can follow these instructions without making like an Amazon affiliate site. Advertisements is another great way that you can make money with a niche site. Some sites don't even do affiliate programs. They're just informational sites that make all their money off advertisements, and then, of course, selling their own products. Neil Patel did a ride-along for a fitness and health site, and if you watched him, he ended up selling it for a ton of money at the end. But the most important takeaway is that a lot of the revenue he was making was from selling fish oil supplements. Wasn't necessarily any affiliate, and it wasn't necessarily the advertisements. So selling your own product can be a really great thing to do as well, but it depends on the niche that you're going to pick, and you usually want to go into it with that idea in your head ahead of time. Plus, it's not a good way to make money with a new niche site. If you're already getting 100,000 page views a month, maybe you can start talking about selling your own product. But when you're just starting out, again, niche sites are great because they have informational content and they're not salesy. So if you're starting out trying to sell your own product and it's all sales content for that product, you're not going to see those kind of good results. So I also forgot to bring up for why niche sites exist. Well, if you look at pingpongruler.com, you can see that there's almost 50,000 organic traffic coming to pingpongruler.com per month organically. They rank for ping pong paddles #1, best ping pong paddle #1, best ping pong table #1. So you can see that a niche site like this can generate a ton of traffic and a ton of revenue. And if that's possible, which it clearly is through a niche site, then that's why they're going to be so popular, is because this is something that is reproducible. Are they sustainable? This is sort of the big question when it comes to niche site creation. It's also a big question when it comes to SEO as a whole. If you're in this industry, SEO specifically, every single year, every single Google update, you're going to hear somebody say that SEO is going to be dead, that this year is the year that SEO is dead, and going forward, SEO won't exist anymore, and Google's going to know everything, and it just isn't true. Any sort of horror story that you hear about a site making $5,000 a month and then the next week they don't make any money and they have no page views, that's because they were people who were not typically I want to say typically. Obviously, there's going to be some other people that this happens to just randomly, I suppose. But for the most part, if you are engaging in black hat SEO, that is something that this can really hurt you on. If you are not following a really detailed content plan, if you're not doing all the right steps to create content or create your website, yes, a Google update can hurt you. But we're going to show you, we've been doing this for a while. Even before we started Summit Rankings, we have been freelancing. We have never had a client hit by an update negatively ever, because if you're doing the right stuff, an update can't really surprise you. It's only if you're trying to cheat the system will an update hurt you, because they're going to get rid of the way that you're cheating the system. But we're not going to be cheating the system. Instead of cheating the system, we're going to be creating a bunch of great content that will forever rank. And that's how we approach things for our clients, and that's how we approach things for our own sites as well, too. Which gets into kind of the next 2 points, which is, 1, the myth of passive income. If you're starting a niche site so that you can make passive income, it's just not going to happen. It's just not reality. You're not going to be able to put in a bunch of work in a year and then live off your site for the rest of your life. It just isn't how it works. You can change your lifestyle a ton with a niche site. If you're working a 9 to 5 right now and you want to work 4 hours a day and be able to choose your own schedule, this is a great industry to get into, making sites, getting into affiliate marketing. But you have to put in the time and the effort. Niche sites are not a get-rich-quick scheme. They take a lot of time. They take a lot of effort. And if you don't want to have a niche site horror story where you're making $5,000 per month and the next month you're making 0, then you have to do things the right way. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take writing. Even the people who say they make passive income, quote unquote, they'll say that they have someone who picks out the content, someone who writes the content, somebody who uploads and edits the content. That's just creating a business. There are people in my agency who will do some work for me. They might even manage clients all on their own. But I would never pretend that owning a digital marketing agency is passive income just because I might have a salesperson do the sales and somebody else do the actual SEO work or create the advertisements for me. That isn't passive income. That's owning a business. And the same thing with a niche site. If you make a niche site, you're starting a business, and it's going to take work, and it's going to take continual work to do it. So that is the intro to this. Thanks. I know that this was a lot to go over, but I wanted to make sure I made a video to explain who I am, why I'm making this, and then what is going to be covered in this, because this is going to be a long series. This is not going to be a series that can get put out in a week. You're going to see every step we take. You're going to see the kind of content we put up there, why we put that content up there. So there is going to be a lot to digest and take in, but the ride along, if you stick along with it, is going to really change the way that you handle niche sites. You're going to learn a ton. If you're someone who has tried to get into niche sites or tried to make affiliate sites before and it just hasn't worked out for you, but you're willing to put in the time and effort, then following this ride along is going to be the best thing you can do for yourself. So what's coming next? What's next is picking a niche. Validating that niche is going to be a pretty long series of videos of what we do to make sure that niche is good. But the way we actually pick that niche is going to be the next video. And in that video live, we are going to be picking the niche that this ride along is going to be about. So thank you for watching this first video. I hope you enjoy. I think this will probably be up at the same time that the picking a niche video is up. So you can go ahead and check out the channel and check out the next step, and really the first step of starting your niche affiliate or any other monetization, your niche site.